What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Limitless Thoughts, and thank you for those who are listening live here down below, and those who are on YouTube or listening on podcasts or whatever you're hearing from and streaming from. Thank you for tuning in. And today's episode is going to be a deep one, and it's really about diving into pressure. Pressure isn't proof. Why hard doesn't always mean you're growing. And by the end of this episode, my goal is to help you have a good understanding of the difference between growth that actually stretches you and the pressure that actually drains everything out of you. Because here's the hard truth. Hard does not automatically mean healthy. And I think a lot of the times we get it twisted and confused, that we think that pressure in our life means good. Means that it's helping us grow, meaning that it's opportunity, meaning that, we're transforming. But that doesn't mean it's always good for us. So I want us to talk about something that, honestly, it quietly kills and keeps a lot of driven people stuck. It's the belief that something feels hard, it must be working, right? This is difficult, so I'm doing the right thing. On the other side of what's hard right now is going to be easier. We normalize pressure, we glorify exhaustion, and then we wonder why things don't work out. And then when things don't work out, we wonder why our growth feels heavy instead of expansive. And what if the pressure you're under isn't proof of progress, but a signal that something needs to change? That it doesn't mean that, I'm having growth. It just means that, hey, we hit a roadblock and I think we need to pivot. I think we need to change to move forward from this, to evolve in our life. So this matters because what? Most high performers don't quit when something feels off. They just push harder through it. They just grind harder. They just overcome it and kind of just put the gas to the pedal. And they say, this is the grind season. This is what we got to do. But at the end of the day, that are not the things that are going to help us be successful. Because when ambition is paired with the wrong structure, even purpose-driven goals start to feel suffocating. Instead of life-giving. Instead of feeling that life is here to help you grow, it feels like life is here to bring you down. And that's not what it's about. So, the real question becomes, right? How do you tell the difference between growth that actually stretches you and, pressure that slowly drained you and every living thing you have? So the first point is awareness, right? Awareness is the most important thing. The number one point, right? The first thing you want to do is notice, is this pressure often disguised as something else, right? But one of the main things that I realized for my life and for a lot of people's life is pressure often disguises itself as discipline. And that's something that's hard to hear, but it disguises itself as discipline, to where we think that sometimes when we feel pressure, that is discipline. All these things going on in my life, putting all this pressure on myself to get all these things done in such a short period of time is going to be good. It's a discipline. It's going to lead me to success. But in all reality, what you're doing is leading yourself to failure. Because what you're doing is you're setting these expectations and sometimes a really confined area of opportunity. You're saying that I want to learn this much things under this much time. And if you don't, X, Y, and Z consequences. And yes, if you do it and you accomplish it, you get praised. And yes, we all normalize it. And yes, it becomes unquestioned. But that's not the most important and key way to really live your life in full potential, full fulfillment, full success. Because the second point after awareness is the cost. Think about the cost of living your life in pressure, because pressure always takes from something. You may think that, again, we look at pressure and say applying so much pressure to our life makes us good. But think about it in a mental health state. You put so much pressure on your mind that your mind starts breaking. You start doubting yourself. These fears and all these different things, your mind becomes weak because it's tired, it's drained. You think the pressure is good, but it's not. You normalize it and say it's just how you are, but it's not. It's not who you are, it's what you have became. So again, like I said, is number one is awareness. Really understanding what pressure is and how it disguises itself as discipline, so that you know that, so that you are aware of that. Because if you're not aware of the situation or the problem, then you first can't even fix it. And then the second thing now is understand the cost that pressure causes on you. Because again, pressure always takes from you. It doesn't give you anything. It takes from you. It gives you some elements of lessons and different skills and all these different things, but it's the cost that it has on you, where it's mental fatigue, emotional numbness, burnout, loss of clarity, all these different things that get taken away from you. Because again, you put this pressure, you think you can do it, you start going through these different struggles, these different bumps. Now you have mental fatigue. Now you're burnt out because you put so much pressure on yourself. People put pressure on you. You didn't know how to create boundaries. You didn't know how to create structure. And then you have loss of clarity. And now you think that you're a failure in life due to one small little segment that has spider webs across your whole life. So now with point number 3 is the shift. You start with the awareness, understanding where you are, what's going on, what's the effect that pressure has on you. Then 2, understanding the cost that the pressure and things have on you. Then number 3, what we're going to be diving now into is a shift. Because the shift that changes everything is growth isn't about carrying more. It's about being supported better. And again, like I said earlier, is creating those structures and those systems to help keep you aligned and to understand what you want out of life. Because structure allows you to have those moments where even when you're tired, even when you don't want to do it, it allows you to have things that you can just walk through the motion, but follow instruction and create function that equals success. And it's so important for us to understand that. And when you do that, that structure starts creating the capacity for you to be able to do more. It starts to create resilience, and it starts to help you redesign your life, your business, who you are as a leader, and the things that you want to accomplish. Because it's something that is so important. And that's why, again, is the three most important things is the awareness, understand the cost, how it affects you, and then making that shift of understanding that growth isn't about carrying more. It's about being more supported. So how are you creating those structures and those systems to support yourself better, to allow yourself to have more success, to be better? Because once you do that, that's how you're going to redesign your life to be more successful. So now I want to give you something that you can practically do now. Something that you can use and that you can apply that can help you make a difference. Because it's always good to hear information, but it's even better when you're able to take information and learn and grow from it, right? So this is a simple weekly check-in that you can do for yourself. And this will allow you to feel the growth, and also make sure you stay aligned and that you don't get misaligned, right? So the first thing you do, make sure you grab a pen or write this down. And if you're driving, pause this and wait till you get home and re-listen to this. But the first thing is, does this challenge expand me or deplete me? So when you're having these challenges and different things that come in your life, ask yourself that. Does this challenge me or does this expand or deplete me? Because when you're asking yourself those questions, now you can be able to categorize the things that you're feeling. Because we all feel different emotion, but sometimes we want to attach it to the wrong box. And then we start building a frame around it that makes us feel a certain way or get attached to a certain feeling when it's unnecessary. So the first thing is to ask yourself, does this challenge expand me or deplete me? Because now if you understand this that depletes me, now you can understand, okay, this is something that I don't need to waste my energy, time on, and it's not worth it. But if this is something that expands me, now you can come with a whole different mind frame around it. Now you're more willing and open to say, okay, I can grow, I can learn from this, I can see this is how this is. Second thing to do, identify what feels heavy. Because the goal is, or the way you're pursuing it may be the problem, right? So 2, again, identify what feels heavy. Is it the goal or is it the way that you're pursuing it? So you want to look at what's happening. Is it the goal? Is it what I want? Or is it the way I'm pursuing it? If something in my life is adding pressure, is it because the way that I put this goal and the type of standard and elements and things that I want to accomplish, is that the problem? Or is it the way that I'm pursuing it? The people that I'm not connecting with, the opportunities that I'm closing myself on, and the limitations that I'm putting on myself. Identifying what really feels heavy. Third thing, adjust. And I'm going to say this again. Adjust the structure before you question your capability. And what I mean by that is sometimes when we're in life and we're growing, we think we can go from level 1 to 10. And we try doing that. And a lot of the times we do it, but we fail. And then we fall straight flat on our face and we get mad, we get upset, and we're like, why did this not work out? Why is it not being successful? What is the problem? But sometimes it's not the problem. Sometimes it's how we're looking at it. So to circle back around with everything that we're talking about today is pressure, right? How pressure does not make things more clear. How we need to reframe pressure and ask ourselves different questions. So the question that I want us to adjust and start asking ourselves now is, what type of structure do I have to support me to reach these goals? Because for an example, young people, when they deal with relationship problems, they don't have the capacity to deal with it because they don't have the tools and systems to help them get through it. It's like you asking a child to have emotional regulations about not getting something they don't want. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know the tool sets to communicate, to be like, hey, I'm really sad that I want this, but I'm not getting it. I'm confused. Why can't I have this? All they're hearing is no, no, no. And all we're hearing is wah, wah, wah. So we need to adjust the structure before we start questioning our capability of doing something, because everything is new to you. Anything you're learning is new. But how are you setting yourself up for success when you are trying to accomplish something? Right? Those are important things to really evaluate and look at, because it's crucial. It's crucial to your growth. It's crucial to what you want to do in life, because this isn't about quitting. It's about recalibrating, redesigning, re-understanding. And that's what's going to make the difference in your life. So like, if you don't remember nothing from this episode, remember this. Pressure is information, not instructions. Don't let it instruct you in a way of life that you don't want. use it as information. Use it as an indicator of something is wrong, we need to change. We need to, and that's saying where they say like pressure makes diamonds. I think we take it out of context. And we look at it as the more I'm in the cooking pot, I'm getting better. But instead of looking at it more like a cooking pot, look at it more as a transformation. That is understanding that when something has things that make it change its formation, it evolves. So instead of pressure being on you and thinking about, oh, it's keeping me tight, think about pressure as, again, elements, information, things that are happening that's changing the compound, the formations, and making it evolve into something different. And that's who you are as a person. You're trying to grow, you're trying to change, you're trying to evolve. So don't allow pressure to really crush you. Because when your structure supports your capability and your capacity, that's when progress feels challenging, but not crushing. That's when you start going from the mind frame of this is too difficult and what's happening to me to wow, this is opportunity. I'm learning something new. Because where in your life are you forcing momentum instead of redesigning support? Because there's many parts in our life that, again, we are just trying to force our way through it. Force our skills and our capacities to like, we can do this, we can do it. Instead of sometimes just slowing down and being like, okay, what do I need to do better? How can I support myself in a moment where I'm feeling pressure, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling like it may not even be possible? But how can I redesign my life and the support around me to give me more of the things I need to be successful? And that's why a lot of people fail at their New Year's resolution. Because it's the pressure of, I want to start going to the gym. I want to start doing all the different things, but they have no support around the new thing they want to accomplish. And that's why they fail. You know, you don't need to prove your strength by suffering. You don't. Just because you're suffering doesn't prove anything. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be more successful just because you're suffering. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is building a structure that finally supports who you already are. It's not trying to support somebody else. It's sometimes you want to start, not sometimes, all the time. You want to start where you are and who you are. Build your support systems from where you are now so they can support you as a ladder in your success, in the things you want to accomplish. Because if you don't do that, then you won't be successful. You won't be able to accomplish the things that you want in life. You have to start and really build that foundation and build that structure that can support you on your journey. Because I want to let you know, it is so important for you to really be on the self-discovery. Understand and question everything around you. Understand why. Because when you truly understand why, that's when you truly understand how things work. A lot of the times we just like to learn things. A lot of people listen to this episode and they will just hear it and be like, yes, it's so important for this, and don't let pressure overcome you, and you gotta identify this, but we don't apply it. We don't do anything. And then you wonder why you're stuck still. You wonder why you're still going through the same exact things in your life. You wonder why pressure keeps popping up and you don't know how to get out of it. Then replay this episode. Listen back to it again and apply it to your life. And I promise you, if you apply it to your life, you will see change. So listen, like always, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in for another episode. And I will talk to you guys in the future. And please share this with somebody. Somebody that you know that goes through a lot of pressure in their life and they need to change. And they need to stop dealing with so much pressure, because you don't deserve to deal with all that pressure. You deserve to have a fulfilled life through structure and alignment. All right. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in the future.